it was funny because somebody said, "Boy, y'all sure left some nice things over here when y'all left." I said, "Hey, wherever we touch down, it's gonna go down."
You know, Joe, I have a different book. I'm gonna bring it in tomorrow, matter of fact. It's a different book, right? But it talks about our presence over there, like you said, World War I, World War II in
Yes, sir.
particular. How many of us went overseas and like we stayed over there?
Yes, sir.
A lot
Yes,
of
sir.
us stayed over there.
Oh, yes, sir.
Our
I have
presence is heavy over there, bro.
hold it. Henry Jones, and Henry from time to time, just like brother who's broken Berlin, Jason Washington, who is originally from Oklahoma, got to Germany and lives in Germany. I too lived in Europe. Not, I worked for the government, but I was not in the military. I lived and worked in Europe. It is a different style of life. But Henry Jones, who go ahead, John, go
So
ahead.
I was going to interject, like, once again, reading a lot of history, it amazed me how many of our greats, at one point or another, they went overseas. Paul Robeson,
Mm-hmm.
W.E.B. Du Bois,
Oh yeah,
James Baldwin. You can keep on, Nina Simone, you keep on naming these names. At one point, they say, you know what? We getting out of here. We going abroad, man. You know what I'm saying?
right, right. So my time, and of course my oldest son, who is part Europe, who is part European, who is in the Navy, um, serving this country right now in Jordan. Um, when I look at some of the things, and back to Mr. Jones, who is in Paris, that brother stayed there. He was there some years, and still there. I think he told me he's going to take his last breath in France, and spoke the language, operated as a Frenchman, had dual citizenship, had a French passport, American passport, and moved accordingly. And let me tell you something. Like I said, wherever we show up, wherever we get down, it's going to go down. I just tell you
Going
that.
down,
Just tell you that.
going down.
And,
You know, you know,
and go ahead, brother.
I've been asked out of all the 25 countries I was blessed to visit, where would I actually like want to stay? Something about Australia, bro. I really enjoyed my time in Darwin,
Listen,
Australia. I went
listen,
there like 6 times to Darwin, Australia, and I really enjoyed
listen.
myself in Australia. That in Thailand.
Listen. My oldest son is in love with Thailand. Now I'm not a big Thailand Bali fan, but my oldest son, he lived by going to Thailand. He goes to Thailand at least once every other year or once a year when he can. And he lives by Thailand. Me, I was a little unusual. And this might sound crazy because I can't stand cold weather. Now listen to what I'm about to say, Sean. I'm gonna say this again. I can't stand cold weather, but one of the most peaceful places I ever spent time at that I would love to go again and maybe would even consider living there is a place like when Switzerland, not Switzerland, Sweden, Finland. I was in Finland for a little while. It in Sweden is almost the same. I was in Sweden, and Sweden was good. Now, a lot of folks don't know. I am literally right now planning a trip because I got to go back to my home. Ever since I did my little ancestral DNA thing, a lot of folks don't know. I'm going back to Edinburgh. Scotland has my name wrote on it, and I shall. And I've been to Scotland before, but I didn't know I was Scottish at the time I was in Scotland. Now that I know that I'm Scottish, I'm like Scotty on Star Trek. Well, buddy, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
but like you're saying, they say that certain things are wasted on the youth, right? I didn't become the Sean P you know now until way. I mean, this is a recent part of my life.
right,
When I
right,
was traveling to those places, 18, 19 years old, I wasn't aware to look for myself in Thailand and Singapore and Bali, Bali, Guatemala. Until
right,
years later, I realized our presence all over these places. I'm
right,
like, man, I missed the opportunity. I was young. We just going to the club. We chasing
right,
women. We trying to
right,
get the
right,
cheap clothes. We,
right,
we,
right,
we
right,
buying the
right,
wrong things in these places, bro. If
right,
I would have known to look for myself,
right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying?
And that's why I would tell people like you and I, and I say this constantly. There's nothing wrong with going back and retracing the course now that you know what to look for. I appreciate that. A lot of folks laugh at me and say, man, I see all the work you do with Southern University with the coaches show. And one thing, let me give big ups and ring the bell for Todd L. Sterling. Todd L. Sterling, who is the executive producer, the brainchild behind the Jaguar football show. Everywhere we go, every city we go to, every school we visit, Todd will wake me up, and we'll go places. Like this last past season, we played Fresno State in Fresno, California. Well, when you're at Fresno State, you're right there at the Sequoia National Forest. And I would try to wake up early in the morning, got off a flight, Cali time, to go see redwood trees, to go see General Sherman. But Todd will promote, motivate me to go and let's go see this thing because we may never see it again. So I got the opportunity to go to the redwood forest, drive through the redwood forest. It was snowing. It was crazy. It was literally 90 degrees in the valley. And it was 30-some degrees at 10,000 feet above. And it was snowing and cold where General Sherman was at. It was crazy.
But Joe, as creators and as writers and content guys, people ask me all the time, like, Sean, how do you go live so often? They got something to talk about. How do you write so much? How you make so many books? But like you just saying, you got to go out there and literally live life first. You got to try different exotic food. You might not even like it, but you could at least think, you know what? Man, I tried some squid and the little tentacles in my tongue was horrible. But the rest of my life, I've tried squid, or I tried an octopus, or I saw the redwoods, or
right. I ate calamari. Right.
Now you have things to pull from.
I saw the wine vineyards where they make the wine. I was impressed with the agriculture. I was really, and as I talk to me.
I got something for you. I mentioned this 2 weekends ago.
Mm-hmm.
We did pottery, Joe. I literally my first time doing.
Where'd you go do pottery at?
In Lafayette, Louisiana.
What?
Lafayette, Louisiana.
You got to send me. You got to
send
Johnson
me
Street.
Off Johnson Street. Right here in the backyard.
You got to send me the information.
It was an amazing experience, Joe. But the minute I was doing it in real time, I closed my eyes. I felt the wheel spinning with the pot, the clay, and everything. I knew I was going to write about it. And I did. Awesome. You know what I'm saying? So, but like, you got to have experiences to have something to talk and write about.
See, here's the
problem.
I'm
supposed to have enough life to create something. You want to just put the camera on, press the button. You don't have nothing to pull from.
Hold on. Here's what gets me, Sean, and I'm gonna say it the best I can. A lot of times you can't go if you don't know. Some folks, all they know, because nobody tells them that there's places out here in your local area where you can do pottery, you can do poetry
in your backyard, bro.
Right in your own backyard.
You ain't got to go fly to California for pottery. You got to go to Chicago.
Right.
We did spoken word poetry outside. Right there in Lafayette, in the backyard.
Right here in your backyard.
And I'll do a better job of advocating that as I'm doing things and come on here for the audience to know, hey, this is going on, man.
Right, in your backyard. This weekend I had, in my 9-to-5 job, I had the opportunity to go to an event that most folks know around here. It is really an event that I helped start. Now, let me show you how things go 360 full circle. I used to be the program director of Z1059. Be exact, most folks know me not as a law enforcement officer, but as a radio personality. That's how most people know me. They don't even, when they mention my name, they don't even mention the police. They mention, man, I remember when Joe was on the radio. So I did
the power of a voice. The power of a voice.
The power of these microphones.
The power of a mic. Come on now.
Right. So I started off, and most folks know me, got acquainted with my personality and who I am through me being a radio personality and a director of programming for Z1059. One of the events I started, I was the pioneer, started it, was called Boots and Bling. We used to do it down toward Sean's Way. We used to go to Baldwin to the casino in Baldwin. I think it's Sheraton or whatever.
Cypress Bayou Casino,
We
Sheraton,
used to go to
Cypress Bayou.
Cypress. The first Boots and Bling was at Cypress Bayou Casino, and it was awesome. We had food, we had libations, we had it was free to all of our listeners. And to see them, COVID struck, no Boots and Bling, but to see them, and I always said they should have moved it from down in Baldwin up to Opelousas. They did. So it's now at a casino in Opelousas. There is a few casinos in Louisiana, and
Yes.
and there you can have
Yes.
fun at those
Yes.
casinos.
Yes.
So Boots and Bling, here I go into an event that I helped start. I walk in as no longer the proprietor of the event, but a local law enforcement individual who is there to protect and serve. So I walked through, and one of the people who worked with me used to work with me. I don't know if she was fond of me or not fond of me, but she looked at me and said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'm a police officer here. I'm kind of making sure that your patrons are uh full of these libations, okay, because I want my streets to be safe." And she was like, "Oh, then she kind of backed up. It's good to see you. Welcome. I'm glad. I thought you were with a law enforcement agency in Lafayette." I said, "No, I've been here for about 3 years." And a little banter. Could kind of felt the vibe that she was like, "Oh, it's you." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it's me. It's me." And I'm not here to shut you down. I'm here to make sure everybody's having a good time. But it felt funny sitting in the corner of an event that you started, that you planned, that you had a lot to do with it and the evolution of it. To be there in a different capacity, but that showed me something that I think a lot of folks need to put in the back of their head, that where you at today may not be where you at tomorrow. And only the Most High knows where you're going. You got to keep living. You got to keep living. I told yesterday a good friend of mine, he called me, and I've been encouraged. And I'm going to say this, Sean, because you've done this. I was encouraged yesterday to fill out an application to be an adjunct professor while I am pursuing my
Yes.
degree
Yeah. This is good.
in criminal justice, my PhD.
Yes, Joe. Yes.
I get a call. I get a call from the president of the UL system, Mr. Gallo, who I know personally, who says, "Joe, I got a call. I talked to your professor. What are you doing?" And it scared me because I said, "Man, your father used to cut my hair. When I was at Grambling, you used to talk to me. I really like Brother Gallo." And he said, "Man, fill out this application where I can get you some class where you can if at a bare minimum assist." That we I can he said, and we're gonna make sure that you're compensated." I didn't know what to say, Sean, because I've been kind of running from some things. I run from a lot. A lot of folks don't know. People think, "Oh, Joe
Hey,
Dupree,
Joe.
Joe Dupree that."
You know
They
what they
don't know
call
how
that?
much I run. What? Talk
They
to
call,
me.
they call that being the reluctant Messiah. The reluctant Messiah, like Moses, like Jesus, like MLK. MLK didn't want that. Yeah, just graduated. You're a young man still. You just getting with Coretta. I'm going to do what? No, I don't want that, man. So as a part of the cycle is my point. You know what I'm saying?
So, so, so I'm waiting because he already told me. He said, "Man, I got a couple of online classes that you can help assist in." And I said, "Man, but I'm tried." I said, "This school ain't easy." And he said, "But you can handle it." And when I finished, I had to think about it, and I said, "Well, let's see where this go. I ain't gonna talk too much about it. Let's see where this go." But I feel in my spirit that sometimes you just gotta let go and let God. Sometimes you just gotta say, "You know what? This man didn't call me for no reason. We didn't have this conversation for no reason. My better half been pushing me. She been sending me adjunct after adjunct after adjunct job because there's 50 million jobs out there. Guess what? The work is plentiful. The
But
laborers
the
are
labels
few.
are few. Come on, back to that book. Back to that book.
Hey,
The
bruh.
laborers are few.
So
The
so
work is the harvest is
speaking
plenty.
that taking it back to where you took it to 26 minutes after the hour with the protectors of Wakanda, the Dora Milaje. See, I'm a big comic book dude. To be exact, if anybody has ever seen me give a lecture or speak, I will always refer to things in comics. And I refer a great deal to the Black Panthers, to the Cages, to the John Stewarts, because guess what? And I refer to the Storms. See, and I had a person tell me, "Wow, bro, you ran down a lot of comics that are rooted in us and us as a people." I said, "Well, here's the thing that you need to understand." I said, from the Silver Surfer, which a lot of people don't want to talk about, who was a man of color. See, I said this was a beautiful thing. Do you not understand that Stan Lee said some of the most intelligent individuals from other planets were people of color? I said Stan Lee made sure that he made certain folk a certain way because he believed that intelligence is more than just white. So understand, I was rocking with T'Challa and T'Chaka long before there was a Black Panther movie. See, some of y'all, and once again, I don't have a problem with this, but let's get down to it right now with the protectors of Wakanda. Because a lot of y'all, like Sean P, is a protector of Black history, of Black reading, of Black excellence. And he was doing this when it wasn't popular. Guess what? Sean P was doing podcasting and talking about Black authors and Black books when it wasn't popular. A lot of y'all don't jump on the gravy train until the gravy train is producing gravy in on your plate. In other
And guess
words,
what, Joe?
come on,
One of my
talk to me.
favorite African American historians, he had this phrase. He called them Johnny Come Lately. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm,
saying?
mm-hmm.
These are Johnny Come Latelys, Joe.
So, then I have to applaud folks and give you a prime example. I started off in radio 14 in this area. I've been in radio since I was 18 years old, but I started in radio in Lafayette, Louisiana about 14 years ago. 13 years ago, there was a lady named Tanya Bowden-Ball who had a vision. Tanya said, everybody giving away turkeys, everybody giving away food. People ain't got plates to put the food on, utensils to eat the food with. So she came up with a care package drive to put together paper towels, other items that folks need when they get the free turkey and the free ham and all this. That
Now
was
that's out the box thinking, Joe. That's out the
hold
box.
on. I'm calling Tanya's name out because Tanya did a thing. In the beginning, Tanya didn't have a lot of folks rocking with her. Tanya at that time was dealing with me. I was at Z1059. Z1059 at that time was the number 2 radio station in the area, still number 2. Be exact, it was only number 1 one time. And that was only the grace of God and us being connected to the people. See, when you connect to the people understand when you really are a person who's for the people, with the people, and of the people will always be with you. They'll criticize you, they'll talk about you, but they know, hey, it's my dog. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm gonna add on to that, Joe, to what you just said. And sometimes being a prophet in your own home is not profitable.
Oh no.
Being a prophet in your own home, sometimes you're not really given that push around you, but then you go somewhere nationally and people embrace and uphold you like royalty, but in your own backyard. See, back to the military thing, after 6 months being overseas, being treated a certain way, we came back to US soil and we in Los Angeles in the airport, like, wait a minute. Everywhere we just went, we were treated a certain way as a black man, but like on our soil, we treated like this. And that's how it is sometimes being a community advocate, a community person, and you're trying to give back and all that. people in your own backyard like, oh, that's just Sean, that's just Joe doing that thing again. But then you go to New York and you embraced on the big main stage, like, wow.
John,
Thousands of miles from home and get embraced like that.
hey, John.
You explain the phenomenon of why that is.
I tell people I've been a part of HBCUism since I was little. Okay, so I wasn't a part of Grambling and Southern, but there is a small HBCU called Lane College. It was a school created to usher in Methodist priests into priesthood. I started off in Lane College. So my HBCUism didn't start in Louisiana with Grambling and Southern. I started off in Lane College. To be exact, I was talking Lane College, Lamo and Owen in Memphis, Tennessee, and Tennessee State long before I was talking Grambling State and Southern. Let's set the record straight. So what you said was of substance and value because, Sean, as you know, every year I do Bayou Classic, I do Essence. If anybody know me, know my timeline, know my social media, they know they're going to see Bayou Classic and they're going to see Essence. If they don't see that, they start wondering, is Joe okay? Is Joe in the hospital? Is Joe sick? Is something wrong? Sean knows because Sean has been with me at Essence. Essence, to most African-American, especially African-American women, now, mind you, I've been dealing with Essence since day one. As a heterosexual African-American male, dealing with the Essence Music Festival, the Essence staff, and the Essence culture, and you know, and have a great reputation. To this day, people who know me at Essence said, man, I've known this man since the 90s, and I can tell you this brother comes here about business. He don't come here, and trust me, I tell any single black man, hold it, let me rephrase that. I tell any black man who's looking for black women, if you really looking for black women and you don't show up to New Orleans 4th of July weekend for the Essence Music Festival, you're not really looking for a woman.
You missed the boat. You missed
it. Right. Because if I'm trying to pick cotton, I ain't going to a soybean field. I'm going to the cotton field in the middle of cotton season.
Hey, Joe, I'll tell the brother, whatever you do, you are casting your pearls to the swine, my brother.
Because, bruh, when it comes down to black women of substance, black women of beauty, black women who are single as a dollar bill, they are in abundance in New Orleans.
And they're about their business. They got their head on right. The greed up. They're about big. Like you said, substance. You know what I'm saying?
Now hold on. Let kind of go there for a second. 34 minutes past the hour, because I have another good friend called Uncle Luck. Now, Uncle Luck has a large following, and Uncle Luck is a funny guy. But Uncle Luck said some stuff that has some good substance to it also about men and women and relationships. See, the biggest problem, and Sean, you brought that up earlier. We were put in some pearls of places. For example, my oldest son, Alexander Durrell, born in Nuremberg, Germany. Well, what's significant about Nuremberg? They had the Nuremberg trials there after the war. Nuremberg, for all the folks who are running around talking about Christmas right now, Nuremberg is the home of Kris Kringle. Kris Kringle was born in Nuremberg. To be exact, when you see the Santa Claus old anime with Sinatra and all these folks who voiced them, they are actually, when you see the Burgermeister was in Nuremberg. See, Nuremberg is where Santa Claus come from. I've been to the Kris Kringle market. They have a market called the Kris Kringle Market.
But Joe, I thought it came from Bethlehem. Okay, my bad.
So I really don't even want to get into this, to the Yahweh story.
I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm just messing with you. Well, I'm just jabbing at you. I'm just jabbing.
But since you went there, 36 minutes past the hour, let's get something clear. The Jesus story was told long before the Jesus story was told. Just remember that. Next time folk try to tell you the Bible say, well, was this story ever told before this book? It was.
Back to the book. They got a book called 16 Crucified Savior Before Christ. That's the name of the book. 16 Crucified Savior Before Christ. And they got a book called Christianity Before Christ. Say both of those.
Get those books. See, you heard? See, he just dropped them diamonds on you right there. Because reading is fundamental. And you can't hold it. Some of y'all talking, prime example. Ooh, Professor Dunleavy, I need you. And he goes back and looks at some of these podcasts, but I'm going to call your name out again. Professor Dunleavy is my professor at Walden University, who's helping me usher me into this PhD in criminal justice. But let me hit you with something. Some of y'all only know what you've been told, not what you read yourself. You only know what you've been told or what you had the audacity to pick this phone up and do the following. Siri, or Google, can you tell me such and such? And so that it comes back and tells you what it knows. And a lot of you don't even read it. Y'all just listen to what it says. You don't go deeper. We've got to get to a place where we start reading and bring back
Joe,
the enjoyment of reading. Talk to me.
You in college right now currently. I was in college 6, 7, 8 years ago. Things changed fast. When I was in school, to put your verified sources on your papers, they had to come from certain places that were vetted and verified. I couldn't go and just grab anything and put it on that thing in my reference page. Like, oh yeah, this here you go, 3 sources. It was a vetting process.
Right.
Has that changed now? Is the question.
No, sir. Be exact.
I can't go with ChatGPT and just grab something and just throw it on that thing.
Hold on. To be exact, every paper we have, because I had to help grade some papers for some individuals who were pursuing their master's degree. We now, in this is crazy, as the evolution of teaching, and big ups to everybody who teaches. I have the greatest respect for teachers now than ever before, because I had to help grade some papers. So now when you get papers, you literally have to run them through what they call an AI analysis to see what's AI used. And it'll come back and tell you quickly. It'll break it down to you. It'll say this. It sometimes, because folks are so ignorant to not understand that AI leaves a blueprint and a fingerprint, that it'll come back and tell you what AI was used, when the AI was used, and it'll give you a digital blueprint. It'll say this user requested this AI to do this at this time. And when you grade the paper, you can send it back to the person. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh my God, yeah, you left a digital footprint. And guess what? There's not a problem with that, long as you credited that at the end of your paper. That's what the professor said. Long as they credited at the end of the paper, use ChatGPT, use OpenAI, use whatever, because there's multiple AI sources out there. As long as you give the credit and say, I came up with some of this information by using AI, he didn't have a problem. But if you don't reference it, strike.
Now, Joe, 2 things. Before I came on this show, I saw an article, I think in the Atlantic. They was talking about, so all of these college students are using AI to write their papers, right? And all these professors are using AI to grade said papers.
Right.
So it's like on both sides of the spectrum, both of them aren't even actually doing the thing.
Right.
And how much that's deteriorating over the course of generations to come. And both of y'all not even doing said thing.
Listen,
so,
I graded 25 papers. Now listen to what I did. I graded 25 papers in about 3 hours. And none of the papers, and my only job on the papers was to run them through the system. The ones that came back and said that it had content that was AI generated, to see if they referenced that they used the AI in their credit. If they did, paper passed. That's all I was supposed to do. Whoop, whoop. Yep, it's there. It's there. Next paper. Whoop, whoop. Oh, it's not there. Check. It's not on this paper.
Joe.
Yeah.
Let me share something sentimental. You cried last week. I'm gonna try to avoid crying right now.
Oh,
don't you know my earliest? Remember my grandmother, rest in peace. We shared the same birthday, me and my grandmother. My earliest memory of my grandmother being the 8th grade English teacher. She on the side of the bed with a stack of papers with that red pen,
Come
and she
on.
going line for line, Joe, over
Right.
all them papers for years.
Right.
So whenever I finally became an adjunct professor at UL, I remember
Mhm.
sitting on the side of my bed with my papers to grade, and I caught myself like, wow, like look what I'm
History
doing.
history repeating itself.
Look what I'm doing, man. Who
What
would
what
ever
what
who would have thought it?
no, no, no. But that was put in. See, you can only be what you see. We emulate. See, that's why I tell folks, stop being these people who use the N-word, cuss around these little kids. Then you want to know why these kids grow up doing what they do. They've been watching you act a fool all your life. And guess what? You have normalized your bullfracking
But
now.
Joe, I changed last week, Joe. I repeated last week. I changed last week.
Yeah, but hold on. Now let me once again say this to folks. I am a full believer in change. I am a full believer in redemption and second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances because I am truly a recipient of all that. I believe in grace. However, let us be crystal clear. If 2 weeks you've been flying right, in 10 years you've been flying wrong, I believe that you can change, but it does not negate that I still don't remember that you still that one that put the gun on the back of my head and told me to give up the goods. See, you might not do that no more, but I still remember the day that you said, stick them up, give it to me. See, you got to pay attention because you can be redeemed and made new in the blink of an eye. It does not negate what you did up until that moment, nor does it make it that those who you did it to have the forgiveness to forgive you of what you did, even if you go to them and ask for said forgiveness.
And you know what else too, Joe? You know how the technology, you can manipulate things and all that, and then you can go and put it back to the factory settings.
Uh-huh.
Some people are changed until up against the right pressure, and then they go back to their factory settings.
Right.
Whenever the check don't clear, you couldn't pay the mortgage, the car broke down, somebody cheated on you, you feel played at work. And you
Mm,
were so holy 10 minutes ago, but now you're back to your factory settings.
mm.
The old model's still there. You
I-
put an
I-
apple on top of that thing, but the old model, the base model's still there.
hey, we have a simple saying in the communities of black and brown folks in our culture: game recognizes game. At the end of the day, if you've been a pimp, a prostitute, a player, a liar, a stealer, if you've been a manipulator, if you've been a grand hustler, if you've been a person who all you've been doing is playing the game and the game you played it well, guess what? You know how the game go. And yes, you can get redeemed and all of a sudden not want to run game no more, but you recognize game a mile away. If you are ex-dope dealer, you know when people are dealing dope and they ain't got to say a word. You can sit around them. I had an ex-dope dealer sit with me one time and laughingly looked at me, and I'm sitting there talking to somebody who I thought was very important. He said, "Man, they smoke hella blunts." I was like, "How you figure that?" And
Hey,
he was
Jody got
like,
a quote. It makes sense to me now. It says a fisherman knows a fisherman from afar.
"Right, hold it."
What you just
That
said?
brother, that
A
brother, after,
fisherman knows a fisherman from afar.
bro, I'm sitting there and after the brother got up and walked away, I'm telling the bro, man, that's the ex-dope dealer. Because he's also now an investor, and we sitting there talking. I said, "Man, hey, that dude, there might be about some life." He said, "Yeah, but he smoke hella blunts." I said, "What you mean? How you feel?" I said, "Bro, that dude there is degreed up, educated up." I said, he said, "Yeah, but he smoke hella dope." And he said he didn't kind of divulge that to us. I said, "Well, how you know he smell hella?" I said, "You smell it on him?" Because I said, "My nose ain't that good." He said, "No." He said, "Look at all that brown on it." He said, "Man, the dude smoke hella dope." He said, so, and it was funny because he said, "I'm weary to make the investment," because he said, when you kind of like don't hint to us that, hey, man, he said, that means, he said, we might invest a bunch of money. And he said, he might take that and blow it on.
But
So,
Joe, let's go full circle. I said 20 minutes ago, sometimes you don't get love where you from, right?
right.
Because people know who you are. They went
Right.
to school with you.
Right.
They may be related to you. So
Mhm.
you go to New York, California, they don't know you at all.
Right.
But back at the crib,
Mhm.
you and I know what's going on. Tupac said, you and I know what's going on.
Right. Right. That part. That part. That part. So yeah, 14 minutes to the top of the
I
hour.
have one more AI thing, Joe. I mean,
Come
one more
on, hit
college
it, hit
thing,
it. Oh,
if I
hey,
can.
hey, did you get in touch with that guy there's a guy out there with a book about AI right now. You remember I told you about it. I need you.
You did. You
Hey,
did.
let's go. Okay, go
So
ahead. AI, hit it.
this is not AI, but college.
Okay,
This is
college.
fun for us, being podcasters. We're doing it right now.
Okay.
So you realize a person can write a paper and they can now use our podcast right now as a
Yes, sir.
source.
Yes, sir.
When I was
That
in
is true.
school years ago, I couldn't go and use Drink Champs for a source
Right.
All the Smoke podcast for us. I find it fascinating. They can now use the Sean P Experience podcast and source it, and it be a verifiable source. I
Yes, sir.
find that fascinating.
Yes, sir. Hey, once again, two words that are prevalent in my moving forward, my growth. Evolution and extinction. If you don't evolve, you are destined to become extinct.
Boy, Joe, I love this conversation. So, Joe, you from down. You love the horses,
Mm-hmm.
or the original cowboy. Whenever
Come
they
on
came
now.
with that Model T Ford car in the beginning, I'm more than sure a lot of folks were resistant about riding in the car. Like, come on, man, we
Right.
got our horses, we
Right.
got the blacksmith. It's a lot of industries making
Right. Right.
saddle.
Right. 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 Come
People
on.
want to
Come on.
drive a pole.
Right. Right.
They wasn't all down with that. There wasn't no
Right.
easy transition, I'm sure.
Right. Right.
But
Cause
after a while, if you still want to ride that horse, if you're on the highway, I'll see you later. I'll see
hey,
I'll see you later.
once again, evolution, extinction. And you have to understand there comes some value in some things becoming evolved. Because watch this. What there used to be a blacksmith on every corner. So supply and
Yeah.
demand says I can't charge a lot because, bruh, if you charging a lot and there's blacksmith on every corner. But like right now, there is an auto mechanic on every corner.
But Joe,
Ho-
that's drying
ho-
up. That's
However,
drying up, Joe.
if you're in the equine business, if you're in the business of
Joe,
horses, and horse business is big in South Louisiana, in the Acadianas, no matter what you want to call this place, understand if you're a blacksmith right now, you charging top dollar because there ain't one on every corner now. But there's still folk out there who
that's
deal with
scarcity.
horses, right?
That's scarcity. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. See, that is an art form of knowing how to deal with horses and shoe
Yeah.
horses and
Yes.
do certain things within the
Yes.
equine business that
Come
if
on,
you
bro.
have passed that skill set to your future generations, they got something now that is of value. See, that's just like Sean, I'm gonna say something that's gonna mess some folks' heads up. Unlike a lot of people, every time I see a penny now, I'm keeping it. And
You should.
I have a
You should.
jar full of
Yeah.
pennies
Yeah.
because pennies are now extinct.
In our lifetime. Isn't that something? In our
Understand,
lifetime.
understand this.
Something.
5 years from today, if I'm still living, you won't see a penny nowhere. Because it takes approximately a year to 2 years for once a currency is killed for it to be completely out of circulation. There's two things that I keep plenty of: pennies now and $2 bills. Because once they stop making them, they ain't there no more.
Look how bad it is, Joe. You know, in our childhood, you can see a little shimmer or something on the ground far away. You gonna run to it. Try to step on it before somebody else can get it.
Mhm.
Now you see people walk clean past because the inflation's so high, there is no penny candy. There
Right.
is no nickel candy. If you see
Come on.
27 cents on the ground, what you gonna do with that, Joe? I mean, for real.
Now,
You
9
can
minutes.
see 47 cents on the ground. What you gonna do with that?
Hold it.
You keep it back
9 minutes to the top of the hour. And our elected president, Donald J. Trump, just said the economy he sees the economy and the affordability right now at A plus 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 plus.
Is that in Wakanda?
I asked myself, I just
Is,
need to know what
is that in
multiverse.
Asgard?
I need to know what multiverse he in, because whatever multiverse he in, I need to be there, because I don't see it
Yeah,
as a
Doctor Strange. The little
right,
silver
right.
coat.
I don't know what multiverse he in. I don't know what universe he in. I don't know what Spidey verse he in. But whatever verse he right, whatever verse he in, I need to get there quickly, because I can honestly say I do not feel that my dollar is going as far as it went 2 to 3 years ago. I just don't. I don't. I don't feel like my check, and listen, with this soon to be increase in health costs and health insurance costs because of the big beautiful bill, understand at the beginning of the year, y'all, a lot of folks, who have excellent insurance, along with my better half, had to switch insurance because insurance costs are skyrocketing. And guess what? Your health is your wealth. I tell folk all the time, y'all putting you putting your marbles in the wrong jar. At the end of the day, I don't care how much money you got. If you sick and you can't get well, guess what? That money ain't. I know folk right now that they can talk about Joe Dupree all they want to, but I know folks right now wish they was as healthy as I was. Guess what? They got more money than me. They may have more prestige than me. They may be in a job that I say, man, that I should be doing that. Listen, when you sick and you don't have proper insurance to get you the proper care, guess what? Then all of a sudden you realize maybe I've been doing the wrong thing. Your
Some
health.
things you can't buy, Joe. Some things you can't buy, boy. Some things you can't buy. They got billionaires on the doggone the kidney transplant list. They got billionaires on the heart transplant list. They got billionaires on all these lists trying to get first dibs.
Right. Hold up. And guess what? They money gonna trump you every day of the week. They money gonna trump you every day of the week. So at the end of the day, you really listen. Your health is your wealth, man. You better take care of this thing. Hold it. I don't know if you remember, but there was a Bruce Willis movie called Death Become Her. It was an old movie, and they had ran into this ancient Egyptian society who had the key to eternal life and beauty. And when old girl gave him the potion, she reminded him, take care of this body, because it's the only one you got. Baby.
Wait a minute, Joe. You a video gamer as well. You a gamer. Shameless plug to your brand, right?
Yes, sir.
You mean we want to get one of these? We want to get one life? We can't regenerate. We can't respawn. We can't none of that.
Bruh, this ain't Call of Duty. This
One
ain't
shot, one kill.
hold it. This ain't Plug. This ain't Roadblocks. This ain't whatever you
Remember the
want
old
to name.
school Mario Brothers? You get
This ain't
all the extra
this,
bits.
this ain't Fortnite. This ain't Super Mario Brothers. This ain't Crash Bandicoot. At the end of the day, when you hear the boogity boot, it's over. That's it. Hold it. Hey. When you hear that, that's it for you. Hold it. Let me tell you something. When the real Grid Reaper comes to your game and it's game over, guess what? You may regenerate, but you ain't gonna be regenerated on this side. hey,
You going back to the multiverse.
hey, you gonna be like Super Mario when he go inside the castle. You gonna be like, whoa, wait a minute, what going on here? Do.
King Cooper. King Cooper.
Yeah. You go, yeah. Do.
That's classic. That's classic.
Hey, I'm just saying. It's 4 minutes to the top of the hour. Listen, Sean, throw the book up again for me. Throw it up for me. Throw it up. The Protectors.
The Protectors of Wakanda, man. A beautiful birthday gift for my mother, along with a stack of books. I'm gonna show y'all different books as the days going by. She always blesses me with the books, man. So go out there. If you're a Marvel fanatic, man, go out there and get it. Protectors of Wakanda.
Unabane. Who are you? Unabane. Who are you? Hold it. And better yet, I always remember, just like my man, Masa, hoo-ha, Umbaku. Why are you here?
I
Remember,
love him. I love
every
him.
day
I love him.
is challenge day. Be up for the challenge. Be up for the challenge. All right, Sean. I
I
know
got
you
you.
got to go. I
Yep.
know tomorrow is Working Out Wednesday. We made it midway through.
Yes,
Sean,
we
let me
did.
say it again. I got to say
Go
this
ahead.
again
Go ahead.
before I close out. Once again, it is the holiday season. I don't know why I don't feel like it's the holiday season. Y'all forgive me. I know I should be on here with snow falling in the background and all kind of stuff. But listen, the holidays ain't happy for everybody. So once again, check on your people. Check on your people. You know, a lot of folks are struggling during this holiday season financially. Um, they are struggling from food indiscretions and disparity. So, you know, and big ups to people who are out there who are doing food drives, care packages drives. You know, I think I saw Tanya on a live, and Tanya said the need is great. Yeah, the need is great. You're right. There's a lot of folks out there. And guess what? I tell everybody, and I do this daily, I try to help somebody every day. Be it I give them a couple of dollars and I don't know them. I do see folks, I'm like Sean, I'll run up on a homeless person. I'll say, here, I might have a McDonald's bag that I went and got some breakfast for them, not for me, and just drop it off. Hey man, I see you here with this sign. I ain't got no money, but here's a breakfast bag from wherever with a drink. Man, put some nourishment in your body. And I keep it moving. You know, look out for folk, man. Be a blessing to folks. Sean, let's get up out of here. I'll let you go ahead and tell them about the Griot podcast, the Sean P experience. Let's go.
Well, sometimes it's good to promo, and sometimes it's good for real things, man. I think those of us that might not feel like it's the holiday season and we looking for that old feel our grandparents provided, we are the elders now. You know, us in our 40s, our 50s, or whatever we are. Your house is the house to go to now. You're the one getting the meals and making the meals. You're the one making the memories now. So some people look for those old times, even though people have passed. But the real thing is, you are the new leaders. You are the one you're looking for. So keep that in your heart. Go out there and be merry, be blessed, be safe, man.
That part. Don't forget about the Sean P experience, the Griot podcast. Catch Sean P on all social media platforms doing great things. It is Tell the Truth Tuesday. It is 1 minute to the top of the hour. Appreciate everybody who is logged in. Share this with a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We will be back if the Lord say the same for tomorrow. It is Work It Out Wednesday. We will finally make it to the middle of the week. It will be hump the day. That's what day it will be. Let me end this like I always do. And listen, people, please let the sizzle resonate in your spirit. Be better today than you were yesterday. Do something today. Not something you need to post on social media. Not something you need to brag and tell people about. Do something today or you enter the part of you that maybe some of you haven't even seen in a long time. Bless somebody in a manner that there's no earthly way that they could ever give you back what you gave them. Release it. Release it, not for a click like a share, not to even talk about, but release it because that could have been you. Always remember that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing nor no one can stand against you. Be blessed. Have a great day. Lord say the same. We'll see you tomorrow for Work It Out Wednesday. On behalf of Sean P, the Sean P Experience, and the Griot Podcast, I am Joe Dupree. This is hashtag Truth Be Told, JD Live. We up out of here. Peace.